Welcome to the KMC Collective podcast, where the KMC team brings you practical insights, creative ideas, and authentic conversations for children's ministry leaders. Each conversation is packed with strategies to help you lead with clarity, build strong teams, nurture families, and stay healthy in the process. Whether you're planning lessons, training volunteers, or seeking encouragement for the week ahead, this podcast is for you. We hope to make you laugh, cry, think, and maybe a bit of all three in each of our weekly conversations. This is the KMC Collective podcast. Let's jump into the conversation.
All right, let's jump into the conversation. Well, maybe not jump, but we're glad that you're here. And have you ever scrolled through Facebook and you're looking for that big thing? Volunteer recruiting ideas. You know, I don't know how many times I would go as a younger kids pastor where I was like, oh man, I need to get more people on my team. Every week, people are calling off. Every week, I'm getting put into a classroom because I don't have a choice. And so I would go to breakouts and I would listen to the supposed gurus talk about how to build the perfect systems. And I'd listen to these podcasts. Well, there weren't any podcasts back in that day. But I'd pull out magazines and listen and read. And I bought books and I did everything I can. And I would still end up walking away out of my office going, how do I actually get more volunteers? How does it work for me? I know it worked for them, but what if that's the wrong first question? What if our biggest challenge isn't necessarily recruiting? Think about that one for a second. Some of you are going to react to that one right away. What if it's actually not recruiting, but it's actually retaining your team? Or even deeper, what if it's you, the leader, in that you need to develop some things inside of you? Let me tell you, after years of children's ministry, there's some things I've learned and I've seen over and over again. And I think all of us at the virtual round table have said that, you know what, we got a lot of people that we've got to get. And every time I recruit 5, I lose 4. And it just feels like we're going back and forth. And people don't want to stay, or they didn't like the change I made, and they don't like my curriculum, and they don't like the fact that I'm only giving 5 goldfish instead of 20 to the kids because they like to eat the extras that the kids don't eat. All those kind of things. So today, on this new season, we are dedicated to helping you as a leader grow healthy teams, grow that confidence to lead healthy teams. So welcome to the KMC Collective podcast. I'm Tom.
I'm Cole.
And I'm Vicki. And
Woohoo!
boy, do I think this conversation is needed.
You think so?
Yeah,
I don't know.
100%.
I don't know if anybody's talking about it.
And part of this is it's never going to go away because we're always going to need volunteers. So we just need to start there. Like, we need volunteers to do the work of our ministry.
Yep.
However,
about the only time you don't need volunteers is, if you're just going to go work at McDonald's and flip burgers or something. Well, you don't even flip burgers at McDonald's anymore. They got machines doing that. What am I talking about? See, again, I aged myself. I used to flip burgers at McDonald's. But I was a grill boy.
I love this conversation is it doesn't matter if you are at a small church, having 3 to 5 volunteers, a mid-sized church, or a big multi-site church.
Yep.
The pieces are all the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
With volunteers. So I love, if it's not a volunteer recruitment, then what is it?
Yep.
What is the secret sauce?
Yeah. Yeah. Are we really trying to solve the right problem? And that's what we need to ask. And that's what we're going to ask on this episode. It's too bad Ben's missing this one.
Yeah, I'm missing him in the 4 square here. It's just a 3 square.
I know.
Yes, I know. But so here's a good statement. Recruiting fills empty spots, but retention builds healthy ministries.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. What are some of the questions that you guys would ask the listeners to consider as we move forward, as we get into this conversation? What are some of the questions that leaders and listeners should be asking themselves right now as we get into this conversation?
Like, I know for me, I've talked about this in previous podcasts, but I'd ask the question, why did the last few leaders leave? What was the, did you have an exit interview? Did you hear the reason they left? And give them the opportunity to be honest and open with you about why.
Yeah, most leaders don't. Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. What other question, Vicki, would you ask?
I would ask a leader to be honest with themselves about the volunteers that they have. How many volunteers do you have? How long have those volunteers been serving? And again, like Cole, your last few, why did they leave and how long had they been serving? I think those are some important conversations that would help us drill down. Because we're in it. We are doing this. We have the same things. And so those are some things I would ask leaders. Like, are you really looking at your volunteer culture?
Yep. Because I think a lot of people are asking, where do we find more people? How do we get more people? What do we got to? We got to get the pastor to announce from the stage. We need more help. We got to start tackling people. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. And so really, if you're going to write something down right now on the to start this podcast off, it's ask the question to yourself, why aren't people staying on my team?
Yeah.
Because I don't care if you're a brand new leader or a seasoned leader, you need to be asking. And I think Cole gave you a great takeaway that you need to say, am I implementing this? Do I have this in place? Do I have an exit interview in place? Do I have a couple questions that I can ask people that if they're going to take a break, if they're going to leave the team, you need to ask, because if you're not asking, you're missing some things. I think a gold mine question is, what was it like to be on the other side of me as the leader?
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
and
scary.
It might hurt hearing the answer.
Oh,
Be humble and secure enough to hear, to really hear them.
And don't cry if they say something mean.
Right.
See it as an opportunity.
Well, and don't fight back or get angry and say, well, good, I'm glad you're leaving. Take a long walk off a short pier, lady. I got a perfect place for you to serve.
And in a previous episode, we talked about reasons volunteers leave, right?
We did.
So if you missed it, you can go back and find it.
Check
we
season 3, episode 2.
But so the 4 things, right? We talked about many things, but 4 things that might not be healthy, right? Could be your volunteers don't feel connected. They never grew. They never owned anything.
They were renters, not owners. That's a good one.
Everything depended on them. That's just a short hit list. And I probably already triggered somebody that they were like, ooh, I actually need to pause this and figure that out, or I need to think about that. However,
we'll be here. Come back. Pause.
That's right.
Go there. Right. We'll be
That's
here.
Right.
We'll be
those
here.
4 things aren't healthy. Like nothing is going to work. It's like you're going to be putting, it's like a colander. Nothing's going to stick.
Yeah. Yes.
But I feel like we really need to dive in the other side. And I've seen people talk about it, but let's really dive in and give people some practical things that they can walk away with. What if we talked about retention? I truly believe that retention creates consistent recruiting.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. Because if you're retaining your team, they will become your best and most consistent recruiters. Because nobody who wants to serve on a sinking ship. Nobody. If the rats are running away, it's taking on water. there's a problem. You got holes. And some of those holes are because you haven't worked to retain people. There's a lot of, well, what kind of gift should I give my volunteers this year? Hey, you know what? That's great. Give them a gift. But that's not the only thing that helps retain people. There's a lot more to it. And again, I know some people are listening to us going, great, I don't have time to even do what I'm doing. And now you're telling me I got to focus on retention, and I got to, I know if you're watching YouTube, my hands are going crazy because I talk with my hands.
Spirit fingers.
Spirit figures. Yeah. Yeah. But here's the thing, a great volunteer culture, a consistent culture, consistently doing the same things over and over again creates retention naturally. And as many times as I've said this to some of my coaching students, and there's some leaders out there that I've worked with, and I am so excited for them because they are seeing the fruit of their labor. It is hard work. There is no shortcuts. There's no magic pill, silver bullet, secret sauce. Anybody tries to sell you that, run away, people. Hold your money, or send it to us. We'll gladly take it. And I'll tell you what the secret sauce is. It's retaining. It's spending time with people and creating this culture that they're not just doing. If you're focused on volunteers, you're focused on people wanting to do stuff for you rather than with you. You're definitely creating I can guarantee you've created a renter culture, because ownership is consistent. If you don't consistently take care of your home, it's going to fall apart. Plain and simple. You've got to be consistent. So I'm excited to get into this a little bit deeper, because I think there are some habits. You can call them habits, you can call them systems, you can call them structure, you can call them attitudes. I don't care what you call them. Yep. I just want you to do them. Just do it, people. Let's not talk about it. Let's be about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Off the soapbox.
And I don't know about you, but as we jump into this conversation, this does not mean that if you do this, you are going to retain 100% of your volunteers all the time. Now, if you do,
come on.
I want you to let me know.
I was going to say, come on the podcast.
You're always going to have the volunteer that steps down because they're moving away to college, or they're having a child and they need to step away. Like, we have those volunteers that need to step away for life situations. We're not talking about those volunteers. You will always lose some volunteers for things like that. We need to cheer them on and let them go.
Absolutely.
Yep.
We are talking about retaining the volunteers that still stay around your church, that you see every Sunday, or that have chosen to go serve somewhere else. That's what we really want to jump in and talk about.
Yeah.
So you talked about 5 habits, attitudes. All right. Let's get to some meat. What's the first one?
It's celebrate. I think if again, nobody wants a sinking ship to be on. They don't want to ride that. So you need to create a culture of celebration. Vicki's got the confetti culture going.
I thought she had glitter. I thought it was glitter culture.
No.
I mean, there's glitter culture, but it's confetti. Like, there is never confetti far from me.
Yes. If you're watching on YouTube, she just pulled out the bag. For those that are not watching,
glittery confetti.
It is shiny.
Hey,
confetti.
I can handle shiny confetti, but glitter is Satan's snot.
But celebrating well. I love to celebrate my volunteers. Celebrate personal wins, celebrate professional wins, celebrate wins on Sunday.
Yeah. But see, here's the thing: is we've gotten into a culture where we think you have to give them something and spend a ton of money on it. And celebration doesn't cost a lot. And especially if you're going to be consistent about it. But I've been a part of a couple of churches when I walked in that their idea of celebration was having a yearly kickoff thing where every volunteer got a new t-shirt. Woohoo. I mean,
that has value, but it's not.
It has
Right.
value.
But that's
It is
that
one
celebration.
celebration of many. It's one
Exactly.
celebration of many.
They banked on that to carry them through the whole year. And it was like, oh
Yeah.
no, you can't. Consistency is not once a year, people. It's you're being intentional, if anything else, because you don't have to have a lot of money to be intentional. And so it's things like letting the whole team know that a life was changed today. If somebody accepted Jesus, you need to be shouting that out immediately, texting the whole team. Hey, guess what God did this morning? So and so accepted Jesus as their savior. Or when you have baptisms and there's kids being baptized, the whole team needs to be there celebrating that. Or
I mean,
hey,
but not even like even with the celebration with the baptisms, like we send our entire kids ministry upstairs to watch baptisms, because not only do we celebrate the volunteers or the kids that go baptized, but I want kids to see other kids, or kids to see their, friends that are older get baptized, because that life change that you want to see in your kids ministry, that's just another seed planted that morning. That's just another seed where God can connect and grow from it.
And if people are concerned and saying, well, I can't take my whole kids ministry, let their small group go up. Let their class Sunday school group go up. And then if you have the capability to stream in the baptism, then stream it in so that the rest of the kids can see it. We used to do that in one of the churches I served in, that their small group went into the big room to scream and yell. They all got to sit on the front row. The small group leaders would bring them right in, sit with them, and then bring them back out. The rest of the group, we were able to come into the live stream because they were streaming it on YouTube. We just pulled up YouTube, put it up on the screen, and our children's ministry, and we would go wild when that kid would come up out of the water. So I think it's a simple thing, but it's, hey, leader, pause it right here and write down 5 ways you can celebrate consistently. And if you can't come up with 5, come up with 3 things that you can do on a consistent basis. And if that's too much, come up with 1 thing you can do this month.
Yep.
And do that 1 thing every month for a full year. And then next year, go to 2 things. If you're overwhelmed and if this is adding too much stress to you, then start with that 1 thing and celebrate it on a consistent basis, that every week you're telling somebody about a life change story, or somebody had a win, or whatever. But celebrate consistently. All right. Somebody else, what do you think would be another consistent habit to do?
So I think for me, for my personality, this has bit me in the butt. And so I've had to learn this one pretty hard. I've talked about it in the past, but volunteers don't want to be corrected. They want a vote of confidence. So you need to coach them, not correct them. And as one that is an observer and is always like, no. I've had to learn through the years that I've literally, I'm going to leave names out, but I had a conversation this last week. One of our special needs shadows was bit by one of our special needs kids.
Ouch.
Me and the shadow had a whole, multiple conversations on Sunday morning. Nothing was said to me. All of a sudden, Tuesday, I get a text message. Hey, by the way, this happened. Is this something you want to know?
History lesson.
And I said, well, yeah. And in my mind, I feel like we've talked about it, but a lot happens in life. And so I said, yes, but I said, here's the reason why. 1, we need to have a record of that. If something were to ever happen and, God forbid something happened and you have to get medical care, they're like, what is this and where did it come from? Well, we now have record. Oh, this is what happened and how it came from. Also, I know mom and dad want to have a conversation because though he is a special needs child, he is not one to where he won't understand correction and understand learning. And so mom and dad want to have a conversation with him about it. And so I sent that all back in a text message to her. I said, yeah, next time we need to do an incident report. I would, thank you for letting me know now, but in the future, this is what it looks like. And I really appreciate you letting me know. And, they were very much received that very well. But
That's
yeah,
good.
you know,
That's a good way to do it.
coaching, I've learned when I coach my volunteers, it always seems to end better for both of us
Yeah.
than
You
just
definitely,
pointing out the mistake.
yeah, you definitely want to avoid the whole, well, I would have done it like this,
Yes.
because that's not coaching, that's correcting.
Yeah.
It's, hey, one of the things, and because what I heard you do is you led with why. Why is that so important?
Mhm.
If you lead with why this is an important thing to do, and say,
Yeah.
here's how we can make this better the next time if it happens again, here's what we can do. And when you lead people that way, they're not feeling corrected, they're feeling coached, they're feeling encouraged of, hey, okay, yeah, I can do it better that way.
Yep.
I often will ask people, so what you told me what went wrong, so tell me what you would do differently the next time.
Mhm.
And asking that question and allowing them to self-correct gives them that empowerment to know that, hey, I'm not because I honestly, I had that conversation and I had this leader go, I thought you were going to fire me, and I'm like, no, we all learn, we all mess up,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everything is figure outable. So let's figure out how we can do this better. So tell me, what would you do differently?
Yeah.
And boy, she went off on this whole thing. And I said, you know what? You brought up some points that I think I need to share with the whole team,
Mm.
because she did. And she said some things that I had not thought about. And I'm like, you know what? This is going to make all of us better. Hey,
Yep.
we've heard that better together thing.
There you
So
go.
Yeah.
that's good.
And
That's good.
and take it one step further, Tom. If they are willing to do it, allow them to speak into that. So
Mhm.
you could
Sure.
have your team meeting,
Oh, yeah.
and instead of going, Tom, this is what I'm going to say, Tom's going to say, you're like, you know what? I had a conversation with so and so. They had noticed some things that they needed to
Yeah.
shift and change. I thought it was a good idea if we all heard it. So here's
Yeah.
them, and they're going to take it away from here, so that
Ooh, that's
it
good.
not only does it build confidence in that individual, it builds confidence in your group that, hey,
Yeah.
Tom's willing to relinquish this control or relinquish this. It's not just Tom's ministry, it's our ministry
Yeah.
together, and we're
Ooh,
growing
that's
together
good.
to build this
That's good.
kingdom.
Yeah.
All right, Vicki.
Yeah. I want to build a culture where volunteers feel safe and secure to ask for feedback. Right.
Ooh.
And so
Mhm.
are we building a culture that they can ask for feedback, and they're not going to be like, well, these are the 3 things I saw you doing wrong today. I want a culture where if somebody's like, how did you think it went in my room? Whether there's a storyteller, the
Yeah.
nurse lead, and I can share and coach them on things that I saw that was really great. Check-in went so well today. Hey, I noticed
Mhm.
this. So like they're getting feedback, but we're sprinkling all types of feedback. But at the root of it, it's the culture where they feel like you just have an ongoing feedback loop and they're safe and secure enough
That's good.
to ask for it. So
That's good.
that is going to build a system and a culture where you're going to retain those volunteers.
That's
Vicki,
good.
not only that, and I had, again, another thing I had to learn in ministry.
I love the what cool learned in ministry. Can you write a
Listen,
book?
I've learned more by failure than I have by success.
Yeah. It's called failing forward.
Yeah,
Exactly. But
it is
you
a
as a
thing.
leader, so you create the culture in which you give feedback and they take the feedback. But as a leader, can you handle the feedback from them? We talk a little bit about that,
Mm,
having the hard conversation and being
yeah.
able to listen and all that type of stuff. But honestly, if you want to build a culture of feedback that's good for them, you need to be able to build a culture of feedback that they can give to you, because you're
Yep.
not in every classroom.
Yep.
You're not at every event. You might be there, but you're not observing every little tiny detail all the time.
Yeah.
And if they don't feel safe enough to give you feedback because of the way you might react or you might give them a look or whatever, you're never
Well,
going to be able to build the culture where they trust you for your feedback as wholeheartedly as you want them to,
yeah.
which
Yeah.
Well,
is
and
tough.
it is. But again, it's leader. People don't leave bad programs; they leave bad leaders. And and this is why we started off the whole episode with saying sometimes retention has more to do with us than it does with some of the systems and the structures and the onboarding and the t-shirts.
Mhm.
And a lot of that comes down to a key thing. And Vicki, this is something I know you value highly, is building relationships. I think that's another thing that consistently
Mhm.
takes intentionality. It takes consistency to build those relationships. Vicki, what are some of the things that you do with your group of people, your volunteers, your team, that creates that culture that we are about relationship first? It's not about what you're doing for me. It's about you. I care about you as a follower of Jesus. This is discipleship, not just ministry.
Yeah. So I would say I love like wordisms. That's not really in a word, but it's me,
Oh,
you, we. So like the relationship of what's my relationship with them, what's their relationship with me, and then what is our relationship in a group. And so I love building relationships with them on Sunday morning. Like you have them there. What is the relationship you're building with them pre-service, post-service, whether it's huddles, VIP. So what can you do to build that relationship while you have them on site? And then what is the relationship that you're building with them the other 6 days a week? And I talk a lot about relationships and how you can do it well without not a lot of money. Sending texts, praying for them,
yes.
sending a birthday card, sending a card to them, like if they're out for a couple weeks, miss you, you are sick. So just building the relationship, caring about them professionally, personally, as well as who they are as a volunteer. I think it's
Mm.
just so helpful. Can you tell I'm a little bit passionate about that area?
just a little bit. But doesn't it come down to, if you know your team, you're also going to know when people need a break. And you can go up to them and say, hey, you know what? You've been serving for the last 5 years so faithfully.
Mhm.
How about you take the next year off and
Yeah.
just go be a child of God? We'll keep you plugged in as far as, you'll still get our emails and you'll know what's going on and all that. And then in a year, let's check back. I mean, and you can give 6 months if you're freaking out for a year. But I think if you've got a relationship, you're going to see people and realize, hey, they need a break. And
Yeah.
that speaks volumes about your relationship. If you're not close enough, or if you don't have a team that's watching your volunteers, because if you're in a bigger church, you're going to need help with eyes on. If you're in a
Absolutely.
smaller church, it is your responsibility. You're a
Mhm.
shepherd. We need more shepherds than we need directors. We
To be
need
fair,
people to
Tom,
shepherd.
of all the things we're going to talk about tonight, I think if you're going to start anywhere, this is where you start.
Mm.
That
And
is
this
true.
isn't something you don't
Good
building
point.
relationships is like honestly the most accessible thing you could do as a kids director or kids pastor, because you're there on Sunday mornings. Just start having conversations. What do you will find that if you just start having conversations, you'll find people are going to tell you what's going on in their life. And
Mhm.
if you're one of these, like I have one of our pastors, he's a little older. When people say something that he thinks that he should remember, he has a little note on his phone and he writes it down really quick after he walks away. He's like, so and so said this about
Absolutely.
that. I'm going to check in with them this week about that thing. But I'm saying all the stuff that we're talking about today, if there's one thing you could start that's
Right.
easy, it's this.
Yes.
But at the same time, this is also, in my own experience, the most important of all the things when it comes to volunteer retention is
Mhm.
as a volunteer, do you feel valued, and do I make you feel valued when we have a conversation? Or am I just trying to get through the conversation so I can go on to the next thing on my busy Sunday morning? Because Sunday morning is busy.
Yeah.
But if you don't make time to make building relationships intentional, or you're not intentional in that time, one, they're going to see through it. And two, you're going to lose volunteers.
All right. We got 2 more we got to get into really fast because we're going to run out of time.
Yep.
So we're going to have to be real fast on these 2. But I think one of the next core habits we have is giving ministry away. We have got to create ownership in our teams and in our leaders so that they know. We can't just hand out jobs. We need to hand out leadership ownership.
Yep.
We need to let people. So I would ask myself, okay, what is it that I am gifted that I should be doing? What are the things that only I can do?
Yep.
And then what else can I, the other things, how do I give it away and who do I give it away to? Who's got the gift and the talent and the time and that can dive in on this? I mean, it's one of those things that we have got to do a better job of. And listen, if you're in a small church, this is one you'll wrestle with. I did for many, many years when I served in churches of 150 or less, and I had a team of 3 people. It's like, and that was stretching it some weeks. I had to find people to do things, and I learned to give away some of that because it's just one of those things. If you don't, you're going to wear yourself out.
Yep.
And it's going to be, it's just dangerous. It's just
And I
dangerous.
think you can start with making a list, like make a list of some things. And one thing I did not realize is some things that I could give away might not be people who are already serving in children's ministry. If it's admin tasks, it could be a
Yes.
retired school teacher who wants to do some admin work for me during the week. And I'm like, where did you come from? Where have you been hiding?
Yep.
But I think that is like, even in a small church, it's like, is there some people who aren't serving or just feeling like, well, I'm older and I really can't get up and down off the floor anymore. And so we let them go, but we're not really asking, or they're not asking, I still care about this ministry. So, but we have to give those things away. And it's hard. I will say it's hard. It is still hard for me when I'm talking on this podcast and I'm saying, give it away. And I will say, it is hard. I'm learning that right now. I'm giving things away. If they can do it 60%, if not, or even 50%, like I'm practicing giving it away. And wow, 3 people specifically, I've given things away over the last 7-8 months. Just to see them grow and where they are now is amazing. And how their faith has grown and their confidence in ministry. And now they're owning a big chunk of ministry.
Yeah. I got a challenge for us in this. I'll do quick because I know we got one more to go. Don't just give away the things you dislike or that take away your energy. This is really hard, especially for me. I love the things that I love to do. Give away the things that you're good at, and not just give it away. Walk alongside someone, teach them how to do it, and be a resource to them. Because, and we've talked about this, you're not always going to be there. And the ministry is going to still happen whether you're there regardless. But if you teach someone how to do the things that you love and you give that away, you build that credibility long term. And then when you have to step away for some weird reason, your boss can go, how are we going to do this? And be like, I got a team. I got these people. They can step into these roles. They can do this thing. And so the challenge is give away the things that you love so you can build people's abilities and build the ministry. It's tough to do, but it's necessary.
All right, Vicki, give us the last habit.
The last habit for retaining volunteers well. You need to share the vision and the end in mind. And I think this might seem like, why does this fit into retaining volunteers? Volunteers don't want to just fill a hole. They don't want to just be a name on the schedule. Even if they're a once a month sub, they don't want that. They want vision. They want to know why they're showing up week after week or twice a month. They want to know what is the end in mind. And so I know my end in mind that I consistently tell my volunteers, write your end in mind. What is the one statement you could say over and over to your volunteers that right then they catch it, and they start sharing it with others. And then your volunteers start recruiting other volunteers to the ministry.
Yeah.
And I mean, even something like that, even if it's not your vision, but when you thank someone at the end of it, like say you see someone walking away at the end of the Sunday, and maybe you didn't see they did something in their classroom, but don't just say, "Hey, thanks for serving." I always stick with, "Hey, thanks for investing in the kids of our church. Thanks for
Mhm.
investing in the families. Thanks for investing in the classroom you're in." Or
Yes.
if you know a kid's name in that classroom, thanks for investing in so and so because they were here today. And maybe you had a conversation with mom and dad. Maybe you know it was a rough morning for that kid to come in, but that, they went in and it was a great day in that classroom, even if that volunteer didn't specifically work with that kid. But if you can be specific about how you're thanking them, it gives that vision piece as they're walking away and saying, "Hey, no, what you did today really mattered in the
Yeah.
lives of our church, the kids of our church. And so thank you for investing in those kids."
My
That's good.
favorite thing to do is to catch them doing something like that and leave them a Post-it note or give them a Post-it note on the way
Yep.
out. So like
Mhm.
There you go.
I have
There
Post-it
you
notes
go.
everywhere and I'm writing Post-it notes. And even if like it's busy, like if you have a lot of volunteers, I can be busy at the end as they're walking by. I'm just
Yep.
handing them things
There you
and
go.
they walk away
There
and
you
you
go.
can just see them light up because it's specific.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Thank you for going the extra mile and
Yep.
using Play-Doh to help the kids do the Jesus tomb today.
There you
Like,
Mhm.
go.
so anyway,
That's good. That's good.
we could go on and on.
Yeah, we could.
At the end, it's not, I don't think we have a recruiting problem in our churches.
Yep.
I
No.
think we have a retaining issue
Yep.
that some habits could fix.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. If we only focus on recruiting, we're going to constantly be replacing people. But if we focus our energy on being consistent on the retaining side, and we get some ideas and some plans in place that we can consistently do on retaining and developing leaders, we're going to build those teams that truly
Mhm.
are multiplication makers.
Yeah.
Because you want to multiply yourself, you want to
Cool.
get your team
Yep.
multiplying themselves, because that's part of the greater discipleship strategy of the kingdom. So, hey, we'd love for you to continue the conversation with us. We'd love for you to we want to hear from you in the KMC Facebook group. What are some things you're doing specifically on a consistent basis to retain your teams? We want to hear from you. What's working? What's maybe
Mhm.
not working? And you know what? If you're stuck, if you're sitting there going, well, but Tom, Vicki, Cole, you don't know my situation. Well, guess what? We're listening.
Yep.
We would love
Yeah.
for you to come over to kmccoaching.net or come to the KidsMinistryCollective.com, whatever you can find. We'll put the notes, the links in the show notes. So just follow the show notes, click the link. We're all available for a free 30-minute conversation. We would take that one thing and say, let's get you unstuck in this one area. It won't cost you anything but your time. 30 minutes. 30 minutes of insane courage could be a game changer for you to start retaining instead of losing your teams. So, all right, that's going to wrap up this episode of the KMC Collective Podcast. I'm Tom.
I'm Cole.
I'm Vicki, and that went way too fast, but I'm encouraged.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right. Until next time.
Hey, friend, that wraps up the KMC Collective podcast for this week. Thanks so much for listening. If today's episode sparked something, an idea, a heartbeat, or a fresh start, drop us a line at tom@tombump.com or reach out on social media. We'd love to hear your story and keep the conversation going. Remember, you're not just doing kids ministry, you're shaping the next generation's faith with intention and care. Be encouraged, be creative, and take a breath. You've got this. Catch you next time on the KMC Collective Podcast.